Good morning. It's a nice, bright, sunny morning again today, and I've got a news story for you. This time it's from China. I love China, and I know lots of stories from China. So I'm going to say hello to you in Chinese. Ni hao, 我的朋友, which means hello, my friends. Okay, now the story I've got for you today is the origin of the four great rivers of China. Now China has really, really great rivers. Some of them are really lovely and sparkling, and some of them are a funny colour, like the Yellow River. But there are four great big rivers in China. So I'm telling you the story of those today. Zheng Zheng and Jing Jing came running into the house after school. Yeah, they yelled excitedly. We learned about the four great rivers of China today. Now if you remember from my last story, one of the stories I told you before, yeah means granddad. Show me, said Yeah, getting out his greatest treasure, an old tattered map of China. Look, here they are, said Zhong, pointing. That's the Heilongjiang, or the Black River. That's the Great Yangtze. The teacher said there's a great dam on the Yangtze. Yeah nodded. This is the Honghe. This is our river. See, this is where we live. Jing pointed to the big loop on the river. That's right, we do live here. We call it the Yellow River because it's so yellow in colour, said Yeah. Now tell me what the fourth river is. The Pearl River. It's in the south. Yes, that's right. Now, do you know the story of how the four great rivers came into being? The children shook their heads. They could sense the story was about to be told, so they settled either side of Yeah on the Great Kang, that's a great big bad, and crossed their legs and waited expectantly. Yeah sucked on his pipe. He always did that when he was thinking, even though there was no tobacco in it. And he began to speak softly. Long ago, the Jade Emperor, who looked after all the earth and the sea, was very angry with the people of China and decided to punish them. They suffered a terrible disaster. Suddenly, the rain stopped falling. The lakes and ponds dried up, and the rivers no longer flowed. The leaves on the trees and bushes became dry and brittle. The flowers died. The animals died. There was no food because the crops did not grow. All the people had to eat were roots which they dug up from the earth. The people lay down on the dry earth, face down, and they prayed to the great Jade Emperor for rain. We are sorry we have upset you, O great, powerful, and most honourable Jade Emperor, but we do not know what we have done. Please send the rain. Please, O honourable Jade Emperor, we are your loyal people. Please save us. But the Jade Emperor refused to listen. No matter how hard or how much the people prayed, the rain did not fall. Now, four lovely little dragons lived in the East China Sea. The first dragon was black. His name was Heilongjiang. The second dragon was white, like a pearl, and her name was Pearl. The third dragon was yellow. Her name was Honghe. And the fourth dragon, who was the longest dragon, was called Yangtze. They loved to play in the waves. I wonder what the rest of the earth looks like, remarked the long dragon, waving a claw towards China. We've never been to that country. We could go travelling. That's a good idea, said Honghe, the yellow dragon, enthusiastically. The other two dragons excitedly nodded their scaly heads and started swimming in the direction of China. When they arrived in China, they saw that the country was dry and bare. They found people digging for grass roots, for they had nothing to eat or drink. They saw the animals dying of thirst and hunger. Whatever has gone wrong? They asked the people. Then the people told them all about the problem, how they had somehow angered the Jade Emperor, and he had stopped the rain falling on the earth. "We must do something to help them," said Yangtze, the long dragon. Hung He nodded her yellow head. "The Jade Emperor will never answer their prayers," said He Long Jiang fiercely, rattling the black scales on his long tail. "Then we must help them ourselves," said the Pearl Dragon shyly, blushing until her white scales turned a lovely shade of pink. "What a good idea!" exclaimed the other 3 dragons. "But how?" They sat on the beach by the water's edge and thought and thought and thought, and finally they agreed on a plan. With mighty roars they started swimming this way and that way, scooping up water and storing it wherever they could amongst their scales. They moved so fast that all the sea looked as if it was dancing with them. Then suddenly the black dragon brought his tail down on the surface of the sea with a mighty whack, and all 4 of the little dragons rose into the air, roaring a mighty roar. In a flash the black dragon flew to the north of China, the long dragon flew to the west, and the pearl dragon flew to the south, and the yellow dragon to the centre of the vast country. Then all at once they let the water fall from their tails, their legs, their scales. What a spectacle it was! "Rain! Rain! Rain!" shouted the people below, running to fetch buckets and bowls in order to catch the precious liquid. They turned their faces to the sky and felt the water cascade over their bodies, and they began to dance. But they could not see the 4 little dragons swooping in the sky. They could only see rain falling, and to them it was more beautiful than the pearls of the sea. But the Jade Emperor saw the little dragons swooping, he saw the rain dropping, and he saw the people dancing in the rain, and he was furious. "How dare you tamper with my world?" he roared. "You will not escape me, little dragons." Whoa! The Jade Emperor summoned the god of the mountains to come and stand before his jade throne. The mountain god was very afraid and bowed down very low in front of the jade throne, his whole body shaking, and he waited for the Jade Emperor to speak. "I order you to kill these 4 dragons that are watering the earth and helping the people," said the Emperor coldly. "Go now and bring me news when they are dead." The mountain god did not dare disobey the Jade Emperor, so he bowed low. Then, with his head still bowed, he backed out of the throne room and sent for the 4 mountain generals, and he told them to find the little dragons and kill them. The 4 mountains went tumbling after the little dragons, and the dragons saw them coming. "Fly to the north!" yelled the long dragon. "Fly as fast as you can!" They all took to the air and flew as fast as they could towards Mongolia. They were followed for 3 days and 3 nights by the mountains. Finally they could go no further and flew down to land upon the earth. But the moment the 4 dragons landed, the 4 mountains crashed down on top of them. The Jade Emperor did a dance of triumph by the side of his jade throne. The people on earth started to cry. Then a surprising thing happened. Suddenly, out from beneath each mountain bubbled water. The water became a stream, then a mighty river, and each river spread over the whole of China, bringing water to the land. The He Long Jiang in the north, the Pearl in the south, the Hung He in the middle, and the Yangtze in the west. These people say that this is how the 4 great rivers of China were created: the Yangtze, the Hung He, the Pearl, and the He Long Jiang. They are all that remain of the 4 little dragons who once saved China. Ye sucked on his pipe, and the blue smoke curled upwards to the roof of the room. People in China still say that the great rivers are dragons. In fact, there are other rivers in China that are also referred to as dragons, said Ye thoughtfully. I don't a lovely story, yeah, yeah, chorused the children, hugging their grandfather. And that is why Chinese people believe that the four great rivers of China came into being. I think it's a lovely story. I think it's lovely too that the Chinese call all the rivers dragons because they're long, and they also help them because to the Chinese dragons are very special creatures, like they are to the Welsh. All right, I'll say goodbye to you now in Chinese. 再见，我的朋友。